This episode of Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast is brought to you by our good friends at Shoal Creek Saloon, where you can have a true Louisiana culinary experience while you get a hint of old Austin as well. Be sure to tell our buddies there, Ray and Brian, that you are a listener or viewer of Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast. Texas high school football, the playoffs. Man, we're getting closer to Christmas. I know there's so much emphasis placed on if your team or a high school football program is practicing the week of Thanksgiving. Well, now we are entering the thick of December, and you know what that means. You're this close to playing at the Palace, the big one, owned by Jerry World in Arlington, the home of Texas high school football state championships, and 3 Austin area high school football programs are still alive. And I think you can probably name at least one of them, the Texas State Final Four. I am Sean Clinch, the host of Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast. And well, if you really want to dive deep, and before we do that, we got to give a shout out to Shoal Creek Saloon. It is your unofficial home of UT football and basketball away from the arena. So if you're not at the games or not on the road with either the Longhorn basketball team or for the Longhorns in their upcoming Sugar Bowl, head to Shoal Creek Saloon. They'll treat you right. It's fun, great people. It gives you a little hint of old Austin. Plus the beverages are very cold and the food with a little hint or Louisiana delights, if you will. Shoal Creek Saloon, that's your place to go. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast YouTube page, and follow the Facebook page as well as all the social media platforms. Okay, let's get it going, and we'll begin with 6A Division I. The Westlake Chaparrals and Galena Park North Shore. It would be more difficult to find out when both or one of these programs were not relevant. It's very difficult to answer because both have been very consistent. Galena Park North Shore, man, they have just poured out Division I talent year in and year out. I don't know the last time that they didn't have a Division I signee, and both 14-0 on the year. And for the third time in 4 years, these two programs are meeting in the Final Four. That's incredible if you think about it. And you can go as far back as Ellinger when he was the quarterback at Westlake. I mean, these two have played forever. And I just noticed look at that. It's not semifinals. Look at that. Look, what is wrong with me? I didn't catch it. Semifinals. Okay. Spell check. Come on, help me out here. But they are playing here locally. Again, playing at the Field, which is the stadium right behind me. It's called The Field with a silent P in Pflugerville. Back-to-back weeks, Westlake. And I'm going to go ahead and assume, I did not have a conversation with Tony Salazar, the head coach of Westlake, but I'm going to go ahead and assume he won the coin toss to decide the neutral site, if you will. I know it's not completely neutral, but you win the toss, you get to decide where you play. And they chose Pflugerville, the field, right across the street from the original Pflugerville High School. But Jack Kaiser, over 1,100 yards rushing for Westlake, and a lot of touchdowns, if you will. I think over 20. Last year, these two played in the state semifinals, 49-34. Galena Park North Shore won that game, and pretty much they ended Westlake's long winning streak. I do believe there's a good chance the winner of this game does win the 6A Division I state championship. But I expect, if you don't have your tickets already, think it's a good time because the one significant college football game is Army-Navy. That's this weekend. Let's shift gears to Texas high school football. If you have a playoff game near you, one of those state semifinals, go ahead and attend because you get to see some of the guys who are going to be, you will be watching on Saturdays very soon, and including this game, 5A Division II, Liberty Hill. They're the only one program of the three who are not playing at the stadium behind me, the Field. They're actually playing in Cypress at Cy-Fair Stadium. That's if I remember correctly, a double-decker stadium on either side. Beautiful facility. One of the original big facilities that really started that trend in Texas high school football. Of course, Waco ISD, the first true beautiful complex in the Central Texas area. And, of course, we all know about Allen, then McKinney, and there's just so many in the Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston areas. But back to the order at hand. PNG. You talk about tradition. PNG, phenomenal program in the Golden Triangle. Liberty Hill, the slot team mafia, as so many people like to call them. This is the fourth consecutive year that Liberty Hill is in the state semifinals. And it was PNG who knocked Liberty Hill out last year, 42-14. And, it's really hard for so many teams to defend Liberty Hill. If you've not seen it, the slot tee, it's old school, but it requires a lot of intelligence on defense to stop it or incredible athleticism. PNG, a program which has been on the rise back to their roots of their success the last few years. Of course, Noah Long, the great running back for Liberty Hill, he will be key. Kent Walker, he's done a great job taking over this program, I think 3 years ago when his beloved brother passed away, lost his bout to cancer. But it's also going to take, for them to knock off PNG, it's going to take those program guys like Carson Holland, those guys who play that tough defense, that Liberty Hill, their identity is the slot T on offense. But another piece of their identity is their tough, physical defense. Now, they have given up some points this year, Liberty Hill has. But I don't know if that's truly indicative because they did make some changes toward the end of the year and really got back to playing some really good defense. But if you think this is what's so bizarre about this team, what has been bizarre about Liberty Hill over the last 5 years, maybe 6, is that just because they are a slot T run dominated offense, you're absolutely wrong if you think they can't score points. They can score points in a hurry. I've seen it so often just on those counter plays. Just watch them. But I don't know who's going to take this one. I'm going to go ahead and say Liberty Hill they avenge last year's loss to PNG in this one. Of course, that's going to be played at that beautiful stadium in Cypress at Cy-Fair Stadium. All right, back at the field tonight, Friday night, the Wimberley Texans and the Belleville Brahmas from that greater Houston area. They'll be back. They're playing at the field to kick it off tonight, Friday night. Of course, Liberty Hill and PNG, and that will be Friday night as well at Cy-Fair Stadium in Westlake, and GP North Shore, they'll be Saturday at 3 p.m. at the field. But back to Wimberley, the Texans. Doug Warren, phenomenal job that he has done with that program. Hill Country strong, just like Liberty Hill. But the thing about Doug Warren's teams, they're very balanced. And Cody Stover, the quarterback, I think last check, well over 2,000 yards passing. They play very disciplined. And if, and I hope I don't jinx them by saying this, they rarely make mistakes. But just like Liberty Hill, Belleville, the Brahmas, they run that slot T to death. 3 backs with at least 1,400 yards rushing. Do I think that Wimberley can stop that? I think they can through their offense, if that makes any sense. I really do. They're tough enough to stop the run, but I like the chances. I really do like the chances of Wimberley and the Texans to get back to the state championship game. They have some program guys that are just filling in, stepping up. There's really no rebuilding here. I know it's cliche, but in Wimberley, they just reload. They've done a great job. And it seems like these three teams, Wimberley, Liberty Hill, and Westlake, they always are alive. It seems like this time of year. And the field behind me in Pflugerville, it's becoming one of those playoff hubs. If you haven't been there, it's a great stadium. Locker room's phenomenal. Concessions right there, easy to navigate for fans. And you gotta love to see a local school district, profiting and being a desired location for Texas high school football playoffs. So have a great weekend. Enjoy all the tackle football on the high school level. This is great. You're going to see a lot of great talent in these games, especially these three teams from the Austin area and their opponents. Really great high school football. Have a great weekend. And for the OG Man Cave boys, that being Big Mike, Coach Mo, and the Hardball Hards, we are out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.